Alright guys, so today we're going to be reviewing Superheroes, Dr. Doom, King of Latveria, Collector's Edition Commander deck. So this is basically the description of the characters. It shows the color, how to play the deck. Yeah, alright. This is the deck box. Then this is the deck box I'm going to be putting it in. I usually use my own, and then these are the sleeves I'm going to be putting it in. Alright, let's get opening this side here. I'm going to sleeve each card one at a time. Let's start with the deck. And then we'll also punch out 1+1 counters. One sec. I just want to make sure all this stuff is folded nicely before I throw it in the trash. So like that, making sure it's folded nicely. I'll put it to the side. This I will be keeping. And then we also have the +1+1 counters. Just gonna keep. Alright, now let's go through the deck. I'm going to put Dr. Doom to the side in just a sec. Also the tokens. Okay. I'm going to go to the deck one sec. First, let's sleeve up Dr. Doom. Alright, Molecule Man. Extract Power. Glorious Purpose. Here, I'm just gonna read each card real quick. Alright. Line cards in your hand have Miracle 0. You may cast a card for its miracle cost when you draw if it's the first card you drew this turn. Extract Power. Look at the top card of each player's library, then exile those cards face down. You may play them without playing their mana cost for as long as they remain exiled. Glorious Purpose. Whenever a creature you control connives, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature and a planar counter on this enchantment. When the 6 planar counter is put on this enchantment, sacrifice it. If you do, exile the top 4 cards of your library. You may cast any number of spells from among them without paying their mana cost. Put the rest into your hand. Helmut Zemo Mastermind. Whenever Helmut Zemo attacks, you may cast target instant or sorcery card with mana value less than or equal to its power from your graveyard. If that spell will be put into your graveyard, exile its head. If you cast a spell this way, put a +1/+1 counter on Helmut Zemo. Kang Dynasty. As the saga enters and after you draw a step, add a lore counter, sacrifice after 3. For each opponent, take up to 1 target creature that player controls. Goad those creatures until your next turn. Whenever any of those creatures deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. That's good. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each card in your hand, and it can't be blocked this turn. That's good. Age of Ultron. For each opponent, destroy up to 1 target non-artifact creature that player controls. For each opponent, you create a 2/2 colorless robot villain artifact creature token. Artifact creatures you control gain Death Touch till end of turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on each of them. Damocles Base Sword of King. legendary artifact vehicle, Flying Death Touch. Whenever a Damocles base deals combat damage to a player, that player faces a villainous choice. They sacrifice a non-token creature of their choice, or they lose 2 life, and you draw 2. And you draw 2 cards. Endless Ranks of Hydra. For each opponent, you create a 2/1 black villain creature token with menace. Whenever your commander enters or attacks, you may pay 1 colorless and 1 black. If you do, return this card from your graveyard to your hand. The Frightful 4. Menace. Whenever an opponent casts their first non-creature spell each turn, that player loses life equal to that spell's mana value. Ironmonger. Sadistic Tycoon. Legendary artifact creature, human villain. Flying. Whenever a creature you control connives, put a +1 counter, +1/+1 counter on each villain you control. Claw. Master of Sound. Death Touch. Whenever you play a card from exile, Claw gains indestructible until end of turn. Whenever Claw deals combat damage to a player, look at the top card of that player's library, then exile it face down. You may play it for as long as it remains exiled. Mana of any type can be spent to cast a spell this way. Abomination, World Ravager. Menace, Trample, Mayhem 4. And it's a 10/10. That's really strong. Alright. Patrick the Leaper, legendary creature, human villain, multi-kicker 2. Patrick enters with a +1/+1 counter on him for each time he was kicked. When Patrick enters, he deals damage equal to his power to each of up to X targets, where X is the number of times he was kicked. Killmonger, Ruthless Usurper. Trample. Whenever Killmonger attacks, he gets +1/+0 for each artifact defending player controls. Whenever Killmonger deals combat damage to a player, that player sacrifices an artifact of their choice, and you create a treasure token. Lady Loki, Agent of Chaos. Whenever you cast your first instant sorcerer villain spell each turn, exile it, then exile cards from the top. Elaborate to exile a non-land card. Lady Loki deals damage to each opponent equal to the difference between that spell's mana value and that non-land card's mana value. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Living Laser. Haste. Whenever Living Laser attacks, for each card you've discarded this turn, create a token that's a copy of Living Laser, except the token isn't legendary. The tokens enter tapped and attacking. Exile the tokens at the beginning of the next end step. Loki's Scepter. When Loki's Scepter enters, gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature until end of turn. Becomes a villain in addition to its other types and gains haste. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. Puppet Master, String Puller. Legendary creature, human, artificial villain. Whenever you attack, goad target creature and opponent controls. It can't block this turn. Whenever 1 or more goaded creatures deal combat damage to one of your opponents, create a treasure token. Stiltman, Towering Terror. Reach. Whenever 1 or more villains you control deal combat damage to a player, gain control of target non-creature non-land permanent that player controls until the end of your next turn. Gains this permanent can't be sacrificed until the end of your next turn. Titania, Proud Pummeler. First strike, melee. Whenever these creatures attacks, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each opponent you attack this combat. Other creatures you control have melee. Arch Nemesis. Whenever you attack and enchant a player, that player loses 2 life. You draw a card and gain 2 life. Whenever a player attacks, you may attach this aura to that player. King Prime. Flying. Whenever King Prime enters or attacks, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile on that card. Put 2 time counters on that card. If it doesn't have suspend, it gains suspend. Loki the Deceiver. Whenever Loki attacks, create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of another target villain individual, except it isn't legendary and it's an illusion in addition to its other types. Sacrifice that token at the beginning of the next end step. Whenever one or more villains you control deal combat damage to the player, draw a card. Red Ghost, Intangible Genius, Ward 2. Red Ghost can't be blocked whenever you draw your second card. Each turn, create a 3/3 red ape villain creature token with haste. Typhoid Mary Fractured. When Typhoid Mary attacks, choose one at random. If you discard a card this turn, you choose one instead. Mary, create a treasure token. Typhoid Mary, draw a card. Bloody Mary, each opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life. The Squadron Sinister, Flying Haste. Other villains you control get +2/+2 and have Flying and Haste. Mayhem 3. Ultron Unlimited Flying. Whenever Ultron attacks, he connives. Whenever a creature you control connives, you may play 1. If you do, create a 2/2 colorless robot villain artifact creature token. Doom's Time Platform. When you attack, exile a target non-land card from your graveyard with 2 time counters on it. If it doesn't have Suspend, it gains Suspend. Tri-Sentinel, Active Vengeance. Flying Menace Chamber. When Tri-Sentinel enters for each opponent, Tri-Sentinel does 3 damage up to 1 target creature that player controls. Unearth 7. Black Market Connections. Kindred Dominance. Choose a creature type, destroy all creatures that aren't of the chosen type. Lethal Scream. Convoke. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. Each creature that convoke this spell connives. Toxic Deluge. As an additional cost to cast a spell, pay X life. All creatures get -X until end of turn. Blasphemous Act. The spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature on the battlefield. Blasphemous Act deals 13 damage to each creature. Oh, Chaos Orb. The owner of target permanent shuffles it into the library, then reveals the top card of the library. If it's a permanent card, they put it onto the battlefield. Bedevil. Destroy target artifact creature or planeswalker. Currency Converter. Whenever you discard a card, you may exile that card from your graveyard. To tap, draw a card, then discard a card. Or tap, put a card exile with this artifact into your graveyard. If it's a land card, create a chance token. If it's a non-land card, create a 2/2 black rogue creature token. As this artifact enters, choose a creature type. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. The next spell of the chosen type you cast this turn can be cast as though it had flash. Skull Clamp. Equip creature gets +1/-1. Whenever a creature dies, draw 2 cards. Equip 1. Okay, so this land enters tap. Cycling 2. Discard this card. Draw a card. Choke Estuary. Coastal Peak. Dragon Skull Summit. Drowned Catacomb. Exotic Orchard. Field Fetid Pools. Foreboding Ruins. Frostboil Snarl. Luxury Suite. Scavenger Grounds. Scorch Geyser. Smoldering Marsh. Sulphur Falls. Sunken Hollow. Loki's Double. It's Sparkle. You may have this creature enter as a copy of a creature or planeswalker control, except it enters with an additional +1/+1 count on it. If it's a creature, it enters with an additional loyalty count on it. It enters with an additional loyalty counter on it if it's a planeswalker and it isn't legendary. Lady Loki's Manifestation. One sec, guys. Sorry. That back. Quick. Alright, back to the video. Baron Strucker, Hydra Overlord, with villain spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Whenever another villain you control enters, you may have it connived. Do this only once each turn. Moonstone, Harsh Mistress, flying. Whenever you discard a card, you may exile that card from your graveyard. If you do, till the end of turn, until the end of your next turn, you may play that card. King, Temporal Tyrant. Whenever King attacks and connives, whenever you draw your second card each turn, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Well, I have some of these in borderless, so I can actually take some of my cards. As you can see here, I have some of the borderless. I know I do have Madam Hydra, so I can actually take a Madam Hydra and put it in the deck. And take this one out. I think I also have a Baron Strucker. Let me look real quick, guys. Right, yeah, so now I remember. Moonstone. Villainous Hideout. Oops. Awesome Android. Whenever you discard a card, you may exile that card from your graveyard. If you do, you may play that card this turn. Chameleon, Master of Disguise. Propaganda. Night's Whisperer. Siphon Mind. Tombstone, Career Criminal. Withering Torment. Superior Foes of Spider-Man. Vandal Blast. Prowler, Cruel Thief. Oops. Terminate. Arcane Signet. Patchwork Banner. Soaring does look cool, but I have a better one that I'm going to put in this deck later. Swiftfoot Boots. Talisman of Dominance. Talisman of Indulgence. Command Tower. Criminal Necropolis. Path of Ancestry. Secluded Courtyard. Geomorphic Expanse. Unclaimed Territory. Islands. Swamps. Mountains. And then that's the deck. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next one.